You said three magic letters that all together equate with when do I make my money back? You said ROI. And
Yeah.
so I know that's a really tough question to answer, and I know it varies.
Yeah.
But thinking about the investment
Yeah.
and the trajectory that executives,
Yeah.
are was mindful of, when
Yeah.
do you make that back? How does that work?
It's going to be a definite depends,
Yeah.
right? In that if it's part-time, that's going to look different because you might have a different complement of people. I always tell my clients, look, if it's part-time, don't expect to make any money your first year. You don't
Mhm.
need to. You have a full-time job, right? You're probably reinvesting to grow it. But I've seen plenty of people in their first year not make it back, but start making money. How much they're going to make is going to depend to a great degree on the concept they choose, their own individual drive and ambition. But I've certainly seen clients, even by their second year, replace their corporate income, depending on what they were making.
Mhm.
Um, I've seen clients that were surprised that, wow, I can actually surpass my income over time, because you can continue to grow and scale it. And you also don't want to forget the fact that because you don't, this is part of the paradigm shift, you're building equity in a business, right? When you're in a job, if you leave the job, maybe you get some severance on the way out, but that's it. You build a business up. I've had clients where they've sold their business, for three or four times cash flow. So, you're also building equity as well, right? So obviously, if you're doing your homework, you're going to build a 3 to 5 year P&L for the business. So, by the time you have to make a decision whether you're going to do it or not, you should be empowered with the information of how long is it going to take me to get to this level, that level, that level. So how am I going to utilize funding to basically get me where I need to go, both near term and long term? Because there's a distinction between what you need to make, right, to pay the light bills and whatnot, and where you ultimately want to get to. So it does depend. But I would say, Tony, most of my clients are pleasantly surprised at the ramp up and the ability to generate cash flow versus their expectations, because I think a lot of their expectations are based on what they hear from people that started their own independent business where you're
Yeah.
figuring it out, right? So if you're figuring it out, that could take 3 to 5 years just to figure it out. Here, the systems are in place. It's designed to compress the learning curve and the time it takes from starting the business to making money.